Welcome back, guys, and let me start with just apologising for my demeanour over this episode. I'm currently suffering from a cold, but as we know, running a successful football team is a full-time job, so I'm not going to disappoint. I am going to carry on, and we're actually going to do a bit of a bonus today. We're going to do a double-headed episode. That means we're doing 2 episodes. And the reason for that is because we have got the Hoffenheim matches, which I promised you that I'd show you today. But we've got that split up with the FA Cup, and straight after the Hoffenheim, we've got the League Cup final. So why not? Let's do 2 episodes today. One is going to be the away match against Hoffenheim, and then the FA Cup 5th round. And then we're going to do the Hoffenheim home game, followed by the League Cup final against Stoke. Before we get into that, let's just run through the results that we've had since the Man United game. So we're going to start off with the FA Cup. We faced Brentford away and we beat them comfortably 2-0. We were able to have a fairly weakened side. I'd say a second string rather than a reserve team. And the team performed very well. Will Mannion in goal kept a clean sheet, and that was a 2-0 win for us. We then followed that with some great results in the Premier League. I said to you that we had 4 games and I needed 3 out of the 4 to be wins. And that's exactly what we got. We beat West Brom 3-1 at home. Lozano scored an early goal, followed by Cliver, and then Arthur finished it off with a penalty. Then we beat our rivals, Bournemouth at home, 2-1. Really important for us. They did make it worrying for us when they scored their goal with 20 minutes left on the clock. It could have gone a different way, but we managed to hold on. And we lost, as expected, to Man City away. Both Aguero... I mean, to be fair, if you look at the score there, we almost held out. It was only 12 minutes from the end. Aguero stuck the ball in. And then we went attacking and Silva caught us on the break. But then we had Wolves away and we managed to beat them, hammer them really, 3-0. Matthijs de Ligt got 2 goals in that match. He actually almost scored a hat-trick, but he headed it just over the bar. So that brings us to where we are now. So in this episode, we're going to have Hoffenheim away, then Bradford City away in the FA Cup 5th round. Then we've got Hoffenheim at home and Stoke in the Carabao Cup final for our 2nd episode today. So straight after this one, go straight on to the next episode and you'll be able to watch it together. And now, the key thing to remember here is that we're currently on 4 fronts. If you consider that even though the League Cup is almost over, we are still in the FA Cup, we are still in the Euro Cup, and we're still doing well in the Premiership. In fact, following those 3 wins in the Premiership, it's still very tight at the top, but we're still clinging in there. We are 4th place. We're a point off 2nd, and we are 4 points ahead of Tottenham in 7th place. So we're doing okay. I mean, West Ham are 5th and they're 3 points behind us. So we can now look ahead at our schedule. And if we have a quick look at our fixtures, we've got Chelsea away and we've got Arsenal at home. But the rest are all really winnable games. They're all games that we should win. West Ham at home, Middlesbrough at home. So these games, hopefully, we could really push on. And this is probably the first time I'm looking at the Premiership thinking, do you know what? We might get Champions League this year. But that's still 11 games, so anything can happen. We could get a load of injuries. We could go off form. So, let's be optimistic, but also realistic. And, Euro Cup is still what we're aiming for at the moment. But let's not get bogged down on that. We have got Euro Cup to contend with right now. The first knockout round against Hoffenheim. We'll see you in Germany in just a second. So here we are against Hoffenheim away. The team, again, it's one of our stronger teams out there. Everybody is a first team choice, except for Moussa Dembele. But of course, he has to start because the Euro Cup this season has been his, it's his ground. He's scored 16 goals in 12 appearances in the European Cup. He's only actually got 2 goals outside of this competition, so we have to start with him. Dolberg is back from injury, so he's on the bench, just giving Koeman a little bit of rest. Looking at the Hoffenheim team, there's not many players there that certainly that I know. But Paslak, previously of Dortmund, I believe, he's on loan there, so he's a quick fullback that we have to be fairly attacking. We've got to be fairly aware of him. We are going with a slightly defensive mentality to start off with, just because we're away and we just want the match to start off in a controlled manner, and then we can start attacking as we as we feel our way into the game, depending on obviously how Hoffenheim approach this match. But here's Kluivert with the first introduction into the game, and Hysaj will now get onto the ball, and the first highlight is done with. So, you know, this is an away game. Now, I would be happy if we can get a goal. You know, a score draw to me would be a fine result in this competition. I think we can win at home fairly comfortably. So a draw is where we're probably looking in this game. And De Ligt on the back post, and Kluivert running in there. That's great play. It's a good, well worked goal from the corner. Here we go. Arthur crosses it. De Ligt headers it back across goal. Hoyt can't get onto it, but Kluivert gets onto the loose ball and taps it in. That's an away goal for us. That's really good, really important. And now Sturaro to Arthur. Arthur to Kluivert. Kluivert taking the long way through the middle there, and Itter's back on the ball, plays it to Lozano. Lozano plays in Dembele, and Dembele puts it wide. Hopefully Dembele will score to continue his run in this competition. That's where we're keeping faith with him. As I've said previously, I think this is probably Dembele's last season with us as we push on as a team. And Uth, 1-on-1, really with a good save. As we push on with a team, Dembele doesn't look like he's going to feature much more. He doesn't really do it for us domestically, and that's a big problem. Obviously, we've got Dolberg, we've got Koeman, and hopefully if we can get Champions League, then we can use money to try and get a bigger name striker as well in. I think that's what we're missing for at the moment in our team. We're missing a striker. Good first half. We're missing a striker that performs consistently against the bigger teams. You know, Dolberg does well, and he scores quite a lot of goals, but he gets injured a lot. Oh, and they've just scored a really silly corner for them to score. If we look at this, the ball's crossed in, and there's a player standing behind the goalkeeper who scores, and the ball comes off. Really, he's not even looking at the ball. It's 1-1. This is the score draw that I said I'd be happy with, so this is fine at the moment. Hoffenheim's team are looking very frustrated and aggressive, so things are working out okay for us. Let's make a bit of a change. Take Arthur off and bring on Jack Wilshere, and Dembele. We'll keep him on for another 10, and then we'll bring on Dolberg just to get him a little bit of match fitness. So Uth has got the ball at the moment, and he plays it out to Paslak, who crosses it in back to Uth. Uth, that was a good save. No, it's just over. Sometimes it's difficult to see if it's a save or a miss, but that one was a miss in the end. And now De Ligt has a free kick from deep, plays it to Lozano, back to Itter. Itter's got Lozano there, plays it to Wilshere, back to Lozano. In for Sturaro, Kluivert's there, and Kluivert puts it wide. Dembele's had his opportunity in this game. He's going to come off, and I think after Kluivert's goal, I do want to rest him, so let's bring on Chamberlain. Let's tell Hysaj to ease off the tackles. It's the 83rd minute, and things look like they're going to end 1-1. Which I'm really happy with. That's an away goal. It's going to make things really difficult for Hoffenheim. So this looks like, it's 20 seconds left on the clock. Chamberlain plays out to Dolberg. Dolberg's got the ball, plays it to Lozano. Lozano doesn't look for Itter, plays it to Wilshere. Wilshere back to Lozano. Back to Wilshere. Sturaro now on the ball, and it's all over. 1-1. It's not a bad result at all. I'm really happy with that. So we're going to tell them they did well. The results are excellent. Dembele and Dolberg are both happy with that. And we'll push on. And next we've got Bradford City away. So here we are. You might have noticed, I just quickly pause the match. I forgot to do the team sheet. We're pushing on. We've got a fairly... let's have a quick look at the squad. We're basically going for the second string team, as you'd expect. We're against Bradford City. They are in League One. Not to be disrespectful to them, but... also it's the FA Cup. I'm not concerned about this at the moment. We've got sights in the Euro Cup, the Premier League at the moment, and the League Cup. So the FA Cup's probably the last of my concerns at the moment, especially considering that Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, and Man United are still currently all in the FA Cup. So looking at our team, Hoyt is probably the only first teamer that is playing, and of course Romeo as well, but that's simply because we lack cover in that defensive mid position. What we're going to hopefully do is second half bring Ascasabar back into defensive mid and bring in Højbjerg in just to tighten up, or just to be a bit more aggressive there in that midfield. Ontiveros starting, Oxlade on the right, and Koeman up front. So let's get back to the action. Here we are playing, and Bradford City are going from right to left, and Chamberlain already with a darting run plays it back. It's a very strange pass back to Calabria, but we're already being really aggressive against Bradford, which is good to see. 3 shots already recorded, and Romeo's got the ball here. Plays it on Ontiveros to Ascasabar, back to Ontiveros, to Wilshere, who's already picked up a booking in this match. Ascasabar gets tackled though. He's going to try and close down the keeper, doesn't. And Bradford now have a slight bit of possession against us. Here they are, but gets tackled by Ascasabar. Ascasabar's all over them. He's really piped up for this match, you can tell. And Ontiveros with a long range strike. It was easy for the keeper to save that one in the end. Decent number of shots, most long range efforts. Okay, let's go work the ball into the box, because of course we should be able to do that. And I imagine that Bradford City are being a bit more defensive against us than we are of them. Now Calabria picks up the ball here, and Wilshere's got it now. So Wilshere drives forward with it to Koeman. Koeman, who really needs to start picking up some form again. He's not been performing as well as he has done previously, and Ascasabar's now on the ball. Plays out to Bertrand. Bertrand will cross it in, and Koeman drops it onto Veros, and it's a corner. Koeman to take the corner. And Romeo picks it up, and Romeo hits it very wide. And here we go. Wyke to Devine, to Reeves, McCartan, back to Wyke. No, Calabria will snuff that one out fairly easily. And I mean, the team we've got out is pretty strong, so it'd be quite embarrassing if we weren't to win this. But like I said at the start, I'm not as interested in the FA Cup at the moment as I am the other competitions, because I think we've got more of a chance in the other competitions, especially considering the League Cup is only a week away for us. Chamberlain now is one-on-one with the keeper, and he hits against him for the corner kick. So Wilshere to take the corner kick, only as far as the front post gets nodded out. Again, Wilshere will retake. Wilshere steps up, crosses it in, and Wyke gets it away again. Romeo has got Wilshere there on the wing, but doesn't play it to him. Plays it to Ascasabar. Ascasabar to Chamberlain. Chamberlain to Wilshere. To Koeman now. Back to Chamberlain. Calabria on the wing, and it's going to be snuffed out again. 9 shots, 4 on target. We're having our chances. We're just not having the quality with those chances that we need at the moment to make the breakthrough. I do believe once we get the breakthrough, the game is going to be fairly sewn up. But until we do... Oh, and that's Koeman. Koeman runs onto a terrible back pass. And we're going to see this again in glorious 3D. But this is an awful back pass. Ascasabar gets tackled. Well, he gives it to Reeves, and Reeves just turns and plays in Koeman beautifully. And Koeman gets onto that and scores. So half an hour gone, Southampton 1-0. I think now this is going to be a coasting towards the end of the match. And 42 minutes and we've got another highlight. So Wilshere's got the ball on the edge of the area to Coman. Tackled by Reeves. Cahill nods it to Wilshere. Wilshere to Bertrand. Back to Wilshere. Wilshere's been controlling this game very, very well at the moment. Coman tackles a defender, but it gets cleared. Wilshere now to Ascasabar. Plays it out to Chambers. A lovely ball. And Chamberlain will cross it in. Onto there, doesn't get to it. And Ascasabar hits a deflected shot and it goes in. And he will claim it as well. I think before that got deflected, that was going really, really wide. But here we see Chamberlain, ball out, falls to Ascasabar, and yeah, I think that was going wide. And it's a really poor deflection past the goalkeeper. Bradford City, what was already a difficult match for them, has become 200% more difficult. I'm not sure if that's the correct maths, but it's extremely difficult. So now we're in a position where we can make those changes that I said about at the start. So we can rest Romeo now, bring on Højbjerg, and Højbjerg for Ascasabar. Hopefully Ascasabar doesn't pick up any more bookings. And we're just not going to say anything to the team. We're just going to head straight out at half time. So yeah, the team's looking all composed, and Hoyt's looking a little bit complacent. He's at 78%, so we may take him off in 10 minutes or so and bring on De Ligt. But first, we're going to bring on Dolberg. Coman's picked up a goal, which is nice to see. Dolberg does need to pick up that match fitness even more because he's always at the moment our main striker, because Dembele and Coman have just not turned it on in his absence. They've had great chances this year to really cement themselves as an opportunity to be first choice striker, and they just haven't done so. They've been very inconsistent, and that's why at the end of the season we're probably going to have to go into the transfer market, as I said, to pick up a more consistent striker, depending on the amount of money we have and obviously what competition we are in at the end of the season. And Divine now in a rare Bradford City attack. Law has the ball, plays it out to Brown. Great ball to Polion, and Polion puts it past Rulli. Bradford City, are they still in this? This is a beautiful ball. You won't see a better ball season, I don't think. Halfway line. First time over the top of the defenders. And Polion just doesn't need to be asked twice. Taps it past the goalkeeper. It's the 86th minute, and Højbjerg plays out to Dolberg. Dolberg can't control it. Brown will clear it up. And it gets out to Rawson, to Vincelot, to Reeves, back to Rawson. Bradford City now a bit confident, playing the ball out very comfortably around the back. Polion now will have another drive, and it's wide this time. 88th minute. The one thing we don't want is a replay. I'd rather lose than have a replay. Cahill will play out to Calabria. Højbjerg to Chamberlain. And Dolberg. Big ball over the top to Chamberlain. Chamberlain's got loads of options in there, and Dolberg meets it and scores a goal. It's 3-1, and Dolberg is back in the scoring ranks, which is nice because we're going to need him in a couple of games' time, as we do have that League Cup final coming up. Dolberg heads it. So, 93rd minute, Rawson will kick the ball away, and now it's Højbjerg to Wilshere. Wilshere will lose it, but it's all over, full time, and 3-1 is comfortable. So let's just give them a little bit of props for that, and we'll go into the 6th round draw. So what we'll do is we'll come back quickly for 6th round draw before we end this episode. And you can see here that Chelsea beat Ipswich 3-0. Man City and Liverpool will have a replay at Anfield, and Everton are through 5-0. Man United played the day before, and they beat Millwall 5-1. So, as I said, we'll come back in just a second for that draw. So here we are, 6th round, or also known as the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. We've met our board's expectations by reaching this round. So what happens from here, I'm not too fussed, especially if we can get our domestic trophy win in the League Cup against Stoke. So we could come up against Chelsea, Man United, Man City, or Liverpool in this. The lowest team we could draw would be Leeds. So Leeds or Wolves, obviously they're two newly promoted teams, Premierships, all Premiership teams in this stage. The next team, the first team out of the hat, will be Chelsea. Chelsea away, Wolves. Next team, West Ham. West Ham away will play Man United. Okay, so it could be Leeds, could be Everton, Man City. Oh, I say Everton are actually a Championship team. I forget that they're not in the Premiership at the moment. Man City or Liverpool at home will play Leeds, which means we have Everton, and we have them at home. We've got the easiest draw in the group, but it looks like even if we go through the semi-finals, it are likely to be Chelsea, Man United, Man City or Liverpool, and Southampton. So it's not going to be easy semi-final once we get there. But that's been our fill of this episode. But don't go anywhere. Like I said, we're going to do a bonus episode today. Never mind that I've got a cold and that I'm speaking in an octave lower than normal and slightly less excitement than normal, but who can't get excited when we've got Hoffenheim leg 2 and Stoke in the Carabao Cup final. We're going to be here, so just pop on to the next episode. I'll see you in a second.